Hello everyone, this is Giovanni from the movie Canon. I'm going to play a little clip from a podcast regarding Batman, since it's Batman Day. So you'll hear that in the background. It will be there for like a few minutes or so while I actually get the stream started. So the stream will begin momentarily, but I'll put this little clip, this little podcast that I recorded last year regarding Batman. So there you go. Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel, The Movie Canon. I am Giovanni and this video's Movie Canon Movie Council includes Brian.
Hey, how's it going?
Ivan.
Yo.
Chevo.
What's up?
Today we will be ranking the most popular actors portraying the Caped Crusader, from Adam West to the latest Bat, Robert Pattinson. All right, so we're going to begin with the number 9 spots. So I think we all agreed with the number 9 spot, and it is Mr. George Clooney. I never really separated George Clooney from anything else that he's in, not even Batman or Bruce Wayne or basically any character that he's done. I think he's only portrayed one character that I actually thought he did a fine job in, but I don't think George Clooney is as amazing actor as people portray him to be, but definitely as Batman, he kind of came off kind of like a joke in a way. And I know a lot of people don't like Adam West either because he's kind of like, you know, the era of very campy Batman or whatever. But George Clooney, I think, takes the cake with probably the worst Batman that we've had. It almost destroyed the entire Batman franchise. I mean, not just him by himself, but, you know, the movie as well didn't help. But Clooney is number 9 in our spot. So, Brian, was Clooney in your very last spot as well, or was it a little higher up?
Yeah, he was definitely dead last. I sometimes forget that he actually played the Batman. He's just George Clooney. He's not like anyone else. He's just George Clooney. Worst Batman ever.
Yeah, I don't see Batman when I see George Clooney, whether he's wearing the costume or not. When he's portraying Bruce Wayne, I see George Clooney, like if he's in the Hollywood red carpet or something. I just see George Clooney. Like I don't see anyone else at all.
George Clooney did not care, I'm sure. He might have been forced to do this. I don't know if you know, like what the backstory was of him getting the role. He wanted it. Phoned it in, didn't care, didn't practice. I'm sure he just showed up, probably just read his lines, because there's nothing unique about this role of him playing Batman. He did not care.
Yeah, since then he has apologized to the public of his portrayal of Batman, so I support that and I respect that, because he knows that he was not a good Batman. Like I said, the script and the movie itself was not good, but I mean, you've seen bad movies and very good performances. And just like all the lines that he says, you know, like freeze or I'm Batman. Like he just says it kind of like George Clooney.
Yeah, I think the most acting he does in this movie is probably when they bring up marriage. You know, like everything else is just as same as flat, and that's like the only one scene I can see where his acting was a little bit different.
Chevo, your thoughts on Clooney, and was he on your number 9 spot?
I don't think so. I think Val Kilmer was last, but to me, it's like these movies are not as, you know, they're not the same as the newer ones we're getting. These are obviously really campy. They're meant for kids. So I don't think anyone who was in this movie cared, because the script was so ridiculous and so campy. It was just a straight up kids movie. So, well, the last two, the Schumacher ones. And I think Val Kilmer is worse just because it's more forgettable, even though they're equally bad.
I think, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because we're not really talking about him yet, but I think Val Kilmer's performance was more of an effort than George Clooney's performance, and they're from the same director and in the same type of campy, worst Batman movies that we've had. It's not supposed to be for kids, so I think Val Kilmer did put more of an effort than George Clooney.
Chris O'Donnell put more effort than Clooney.
Yeah, he did actually.
Yeah, he really had a good performance, I think.
Yeah, he seemed like he was trying, and George Clooney did not give a fuck.
No, he did
He was
not.
just getting his paycheck, and he's like, all right, next. I guess, was he like really big at the time or something? George Clooney?
I don't remember him being really big. I know he was in the ER show. I don't remember seeing him in any other movies. I know he was very popular in that show, but that's about it. All right, so the number 8 spot, we have Adam West, who portrayed the Batman from the 1960s. He had the TV show. I think the TV show had about 3 seasons or so, and then it was canceled. But he was in the first, I think it was the first Batman movie. And I know I've seen this movie. It's just been a really long time since I've seen it, and I don't really remember it being that much of an impact for me. Like I liked the Batman character, but the animated series made more of an impact with the character than the Adam West Batman movies. So his portrayal was, obviously the campy one. It's more funny, isn't taking that seriously or whatever. He was basically known as Batman more than anyone else. I think more than any of these actors. I think he was the one that was kind of what's typecast with portraying Batman. But that's why he was kind of low on my spot, on my ranking. But Brian, what are your thoughts on Adam West being kind of low on the ranking?
Well, he was the first one, and so I'm not surprised he's that low. I don't remember where I had him, but I've only seen YouTube videos, and I think he's hilarious. I think you can say he's sort of iconic because how old it is, especially that cartoon is iconic. So in that sense, I think he's iconic.
He was alright. Obviously he was doing this campy stuff, and it fit the movie, and that's it.
When we were watching those clips of the the Batman show and movie, and then you show him as Bruce Wayne, like obviously it looked better him portraying Bruce Wayne than actually Batman, but it's probably because of the costume, because of the campiness. So he kind of seemed like James Bond in a way when he's portraying Bruce Wayne.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's very James Bond.
1960s style, and then he's all like wearing his outfit or whatever, and he's Bruce Wayne. So he wasn't a bad Bruce Wayne from what I recall, but as an actual Batman character, he's.
And here we go.
Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Movie Canon. We are live. We are live now, at least I believe so. So this is my latest episode of the Met Report, a show about movies, entertainment, and television news. And for this one, I didn't really advertise it that much because, at least for the stream today, because I wasn't sure exactly when I was going to go live today. So I just decided to just, go live as soon as I could. I was working on the stream and things like that. So like always, everyone, the people who are watching live, if you guys could just let me know if there's any issues with the picture, the sound, the music. Maybe the music's too loud. Sometimes it's the issue. Sometimes that is the issue. So let me know, guys, if that is the problem. And again, I'm Giovanni, and we're gonna go and do this new episode of the Met Report. There's not too much as far as actual movie news per se today or this weekend, but it is Batman Day, so that's why we have this little background here of The Dark Knight, the Caped Crusader. And earlier, while you were listening in probably or watching for the stream to begin, I put a little clip of the Batman ranking actor video podcast that I did last year with my cousins Ivan, Brian, and Chevel. So that's what you guys heard if you actually heard this earlier today. And you could watch this podcast or hear this podcast on my channel. Just look up ranking Batman actors, Movie Canon. And I also put it a link on my Instagram page. So if you want to continue watching that, that's the way that you can do that. And like I said, it is Batman Day. I'll see what stuff I can talk about when it comes to Batman. I'm not sure if I'll get into too many things about it, but I just wanted to, theme this stream as a Batman theme since it is September 16th. and it is Batman Day. So what we're gonna do here today, I do have the I am going to announce the winner for the Barbie and the Ken Funko Pop giveaway. So the winners will be announced today. So hopefully you have a mailing address within the United States, and you're a subscriber, and or are following the Instagram page at the movie Canon. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to the Movie Canon YouTube channel for future content and future giveaways, etc. And I am still doing the I mentioned this earlier too, the last couple weeks or so, the Spider-Man 2 PS5 physical copy giveaway opened a couple weeks ago. It will remain open until it's closer to the date of the release. So this game is currently scheduled to be released on October 20th. I am planning on doing a live stream of some sort that weekend, probably that Saturday, October 21st, where I would announce the winner. I mentioned earlier that I need to have minimum 100 entries to actually activate the giveaway. I don't think we've gotten there yet, but we're going to get there because I'm getting a lot of entries already, and it's still like more than a month away before I actually announce the winner. So definitely keep an eye out for that, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, or follow the Instagram page at the movie Canon. And what I'm going to do today, as far as today's episode of the Met Report, is I'm doing my non-spoiler review of A Haunting in Venice. So that's like the third horror movie or whatever, or spooky type of movie in the last couple weeks or so for me. So I'm going to do my non-spoiler review, and there's actually a lot of information, a lot of news regarding the Figures Talk segment that I'm going to do today, because Hot Toys announced SABINE, ROBOCOP from AHSOKA, a figure, and there's some other releases that were announced this week as well. So I'm going to get into that as well. All right, so let's see here. So again, everyone, if you guys can hear me fine, let me know. For right now, I'm going to just double check on something myself. So just give me just a moment, and then we'll get started here. Okay, so I just have to check myself. Just want to make sure that all the audio, the picture, the music is not too crazy. So again, everyone, let me know if there's any issues moving forward. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. As I mentioned, I'm going to start off with the non-spoiler review of A Haunting in Venice. So we have the see it, stream it, or skip it system that I use at the movie Canon. So this is a non-spoiler review, so I'm not going to go into details about obviously spoilers and things like that. So that's what we'll be doing in just a moment here, and then also I'll actually hold on a moment here. Let me just move this here real quick. Okay, and then like always, we do the positives and the negatives. So that's how I separate here the review and so forth. So let's get started with the positives of this movie here. Now this is the third movie from Kenneth Branagh. Kenneth Branagh is the director and also the star of these three films here. He plays Hercule Poirot. I'm probably gonna mispronounce the last name. He's the detective. And he's been leading these three movies, and Kenneth Branagh has been directing all three, which I know is like a very difficult task to do. But I'm gonna get into the other movies that I've seen in just a moment here. But I just want to get started here when it comes to the positives. And let's begin by going here. And okay, so there we go. So beginning with the positives. So we have Kenneth Branagh as Hercule Poirot, the detective. And sometimes I have trouble understanding what he's saying. If you've seen the movies, maybe it's the same issue with you, that sometimes it's kind of hard to understand what he's saying. But ultimately, I do like Kenneth Branagh's performance as the character. I think it was really good in this movie, and even in the first one and the second one and so forth. Actually, when it comes to the second one, I didn't actually finish watching that one, but I'll talk to you guys about that a little later. So that is definitely a positive here, probably the biggest positive thing here. And it's because I just completely buy into the idea that he's one of the most brilliant detectives around. And then also I would imagine that starring and directing in any kind of movie will be very difficult. So I'm sure that was a very difficult task to accomplish there. Another positive thing here is the cinematography. So the cinematography here there were many like beautiful shots and beautiful scenes in the movie that use both like a real scenery, like they actually shoot it on location or whatever the case might be, and I can tell that sometimes they use like CGI and things like that, but the mixture of it or the usage of both was really good, and I did like the way the movie looks. So the cinematography is definitely a positive thing here regarding this film, and some of the cinematography here is actually helped to set up the tone of the film, and it also used to show certain clues, certain foreshadowing and things like that, because ultimately this is a mystery, so it's a mystery movie, and you're trying to find out who done it in a certain way. Kind of in a certain way. It's a whodunit type of movie. It's a mystery movie, and some of those shots are, especially after you've seen the movie, you think about certain shots, certain scenes that those were foreshadowing, or that was a clue of some sort or whatever. So that's definitely a positive there. The next thing, which probably will be the last positive thing for A Haunting in Venice, is speaking about the tone. I really did appreciate the darker, spookier tone, and this particular installment of the of this film, or this series, I should say, is based on the Halloween Party, which is the novel by Agatha Christie, and I think actually all of them were written by Agatha Christie. All of these three movies, the Kenneth Branagh ones, are based on Agatha Christie. So this is another one here. So I was expecting this installment to feel a little different than the other two movies regarding this series here. So I'll say that that's a positive. So, and it's kind of like I kind of called it like a horror. It's not really like a horror, but it's more like a darker tone, like very mysterious and Halloween suspenseful type of thing. So yeah, so that's a positive thing there. Okay, so now I'm gonna move on to some of the negatives. So there's quite a few negatives here. I think there might be more negatives than positives, but let's begin by this one here. The following here are the main things, the main components here that ultimately led to my overall feelings of the movie. So right off the bat, I'll say that this is not going to be a favorable movie, at least to me. So let's see here. Hold on a second. Okay, so the negatives here says, so I didn't like the way that the story was executed here. I watched the first film, Murder on the Orient Express, which was also directed by Branagh, like I said, and I was a bit disappointed by it. I had started watching Death on the Nile, which is the second movie, and I actually didn't go to the theater to watch it or anything like that. I actually had I streamed it or tried to stream it anyways. And I just couldn't get into the movie, so I kind of stopped watching. Just the CGI of that movie in the background was really bad, and it just looked very fake. The whole Egypt stuff and the scenery cinematography was actually not as good as this new one here for The Death on the Nile. And this new installment grabbed my attention because it had the elements of a mystery, which I normally like, and the potential to a supernatural component within the mystery. So it looked interesting to me initially, but unfortunately I was not captivated by the story here. There were long scenes of dialogue that made me lose interest, and when your film is heavily involved in long scenes of dialogue and monologues and things like that to tell its story, it really has to be on point, and I don't think that was really the case here. It just got a little kind of boring and stuff like that. So I wasn't really that interested in this particular installment here. And actually, let me just check on something real quick here. Hold on a sec. Some technical difficulties here, so just a moment. Let's see if I can try to fix it. Okay, so hold on a second. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on. All right, so so that was some of the negatives there here, and let me see if there was anything else I wanted to add here. Oh, actually, you know how I mentioned that there's a lot of heavy dialogue and monologues and things like that that not really weren't really that interesting. So just because a movie has that doesn't mean that it's going to be a bad or boring movie. I have some examples where we have the same type of formula in a way. We have a great example of a film that did this well was Hitchcock's Dial M for Murder. So that film is heavy on dialogue, like I mentioned, with little to no action sequences, and yet the story and characters grab you. Rian Johnson's Knives Out films are good examples of a modern whodunit. So I thought that was done very well. We have a live chat comment here. It says John Stutzman says, "I'm watching Batman trilogy during Batman Day." Oh, okay. So so actually we'll get into a little bit of the Batman stuff in just a bit because it's Batman Day, but I'm not gonna do like a whole segment about it. But yeah, so I saw that they're releasing I think it's the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy movies in theaters today. So yeah. Okay, so going back here to the review here, let's see here. The characters, I kind of already mentioned a bit about the characters in... actually, this has the wrong photo, I just noticed right now. Hold on a sec. Okay, so yeah, that's the wrong picture. Okay, so the characters here. So the characters in Haunting in Venice, they're just not interesting, with maybe the exception of Michelle Yeoh's character, who plays the psychic or the medium or whatever. But even so, I wasn't, captivated by it or anything like that. But the characters here, they're just not as intriguing. They're just not as interesting as, characters like in Knives Out. Like most of the characters in Knives Out, the first one and the second one, the characters themselves are interesting. Here, that they're not really, that interesting there, and it kind of also affects the movie overall. Ultimately, I was, like I said, initially interested in the aspects of what might be the supernatural elements of the story, and I was more curious as to how this particular detective would handle such a different case but the mystery and the story here fell flat to me because, you know, we have this detective who, you know, does things logically. You know, he investigates, he uses logic, he uses brain, smart guy, right? And then we get to this situation where there's a supernatural component, element, some kind of ghost thing going on or whatever. And I was curious to see how this character would handle it. Are they gonna go into this whole supernatural aspect of the story here? Like, they're actually gonna go with that, or are they going to actually break into something that was actually not a supernatural thing? There was a logical explanation. So that was the main thing why I wanted to watch this, because I want to see which route they would go with that. I never watched or never read any of the books, I should say. Never read any of the books. So I mean, I didn't know the story of it or anything like that. So yeah, so there we go with that. And ultimately, we're going to get into the final grade here. So as I mentioned, the movie Canon has the rating system: see it, stream it, or skip it. And ultimately, just like last week, because I watched The Nun 2 and I had my problems with that movie. So unfortunately, A Haunting in Venice is going to be a skip it for me. I just don't think it was that good, that interesting. So I'm gonna give it a C minus. And just like last time, that was the same grade as The Nun 2. A C minus, because to me, like, if I'm gonna give someone give a movie an F, there has to be very few positive elements or none at all, right? So for example, the movie Skinamarink, if you guys have heard about that movie, that one was a hard F. I didn't review it or anything, but there was nothing good from that movie, so that was an F. This one, I say skip it. Grade C minus, because there are a few positive elements, and like I mentioned earlier, you know, the lead, Kenneth Branagh, as the detective, Hercule Poirot, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, he was really good. He's a very good character. It's just that the movies that I've seen with this character, with this performance, they're just not. It's just not good. And there's a lot of promise when it comes to what we can do with this character, and I'm not sure. And I think the screenwriter for this movie, I think the same guy or the same person wrote the other two, if I'm not mistaken. I think he wrote all three, and it's like, well, maybe we should have had a better writer or another writer or whatever. But yeah, so A Haunting in Venice is going to be a skip it for me. Its grade is a C minus. Okay, so let me just go back here. Okay, so just very quickly here, because like I said, it is Batman Day, and initially I was gonna do like a segment. I was gonna do a whole talk thing about Batman or whatever, but I just decided against it. But yeah, so today is the anniversary, or which is considered to be, you know, Batman Day or whatever the case. And you know, Batman is one of the, if not the most popular superhero character. You know, it's debatable. In my opinion, he is the best superhero out there, and we're very familiar with his backstory. You know, he has the alias, or Batman is the alias name. He is Bruce Wayne, you know, a wealthy American playboy industrialist, and he lives in Gotham City and so forth. And then the origin story is, like I said, we know it's destroying vengeance against criminals after witnessing the murder of his parents, Thomas and Martha. And then he crafts a Bat-inspired persona and monitors the Gotham streets at night. And then we have the creators Kane and Finger and other creators that made this character, and it's very popular for Warner Brothers. It's probably one of their best or most profitable superhero for DC and Warner Brothers in general when it comes to the movies and things like that. And yeah, so I just wanted to mention it since it is Batman Day, and you know, there's like one of the people here on my live stream right here says that he's watching Batman trilogy during Batman Days of Today, and like I mentioned, they're playing the Christopher Nolan movies, the Dark Knight trilogy. They're playing it in theaters today, and I was debating if I should watch one of them because I've been wanting to rewatch The Dark Knight in theaters because I only saw it, or I haven't seen it in theaters since it was originally in theaters, so back in 2008. But I was more interested in watching it on IMAX because that's when I first watched that movie. But I didn't see that they were playing The Dark Knight on IMAX, and it's probably because they're using it up right now for other movies. Like I think Barbie's coming, and I think they're probably leaving space for that. And I think Oppenheimer's still playing, and things like that. So maybe that's why they weren't able to actually show The Dark Knight in IMAX. But yeah, so it's playing today. It's still Batman Day, September 16th. So if you still want to watch one of those Christopher Nolan Batman movies, it is still out in theaters as of today. I don't know if they're actually going to play any tomorrow or not, but just if you're interested, they are playing these Batman movies in theaters. So there you go. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to, let's see here. Oh, the Figures Talk segment. So I mentioned there's not that many news that I really wanted to talk about this particular week. So I did the Haunting in Venice non-spoiler review, so that's done with. So now I'm going to the Figures Talk segment, and like I mentioned before in my other streams, I added this Figures Talk segment, Hot Toys, in-art figures, Mondo, whatever, 1/6 scale mainly, because there's the opportunity to, talk about these particular figures. I know they're very expensive, and sometimes a lot of people can't really get them because they are very expensive, but it gives an opportunity to also talk about the character that's being announced or released, and then these characters are usually based on a movie, a TV show, or whatever. So like in this case, we have this one right here, SABINE WREN, who was just announced last Monday, and Hot Toys had teased that they're going to do an AHSOKA line. And actually, I might talk a little bit about AHSOKA episode 5 in just a bit here, but that'll be very spoilery. But I'll see if I get into that or not. But so we have SABINE WREN, and as I mentioned in other previous streams, when it comes to the AHSOKA show, I didn't watch the Clone Wars, or technically I watched the first episode of the Clone Wars, and I watched the Clone Wars movie that came out in 2008, which I hated. And I've never watched Rebels at all. I haven't seen a single episode of Rebels. So this character is new to me, and I watched the first 2 episodes. When they first announced, or when they first released the first 2 episodes, and I got to know this character a little bit, right? So now she's not at the level for me that I'm gonna go rush and get this figure, but I understand that a lot of fans of Rebels and Clone Wars, I know they're very excited about this figure because there's more story of her based on those shows that I myself am not, familiar with. So far from what I've seen, she seems cool and everything. She's a bounty hunter, or a Mandalorian, I should say. And it looks like she has the ability to be force sensitive, or whatever the case. So she has that lightsaber, which I believe is another Jedi's lightsaber, Ezra, with another character I'm not familiar with, but I'm sure they'll get into that soon, I will think. So let me actually get to the screen so I can show you a little bit more photos here. So hold on a second. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see. So let me just double check. So give me just a second here. I just want to make sure that you guys can actually see this. I know sometimes before there was an issue with when I'm trying to share the screen. But hold on a moment. No, there's a delay. Okay, so it looks like you guys could see it. Okay. All right, so let's see. Okay, there you go. So there you go. Okay, so again, SABINE WREN, 1/6 scale collectible figure. She has the the purple hair. And I don't know if she has a different type of color in the other shows or whatever. Like, I don't know if her color has changed. I want to say that maybe at the first episode, I think I might have seen her wearing or having greenish hair, but I don't remember now. But they decided to go with this purple hair and the short hair, because I think in the beginning of the first episode of Ahsoka, I think she had longer hair. But yeah, so that's the figure, and like I said, she looks cool. You know, she has all of the aspects, the components that a lot of Star Wars fans like. Right, so a lot of Star Wars fans like Mandalorian, bounty hunters in the Star Wars universe, and then of course we like Jedis, lightsabers, and she has all these. You know, she has the Mandalorian outfit, the armor, and then she has this lightsaber, and then she has the pistol, as you can see right here. And here's another photo of Sabine Wren. And as far as the look, now she looks great. The likeness here, I think it's like 100%. It's like perfect. Like, she just looks like the actress, like just a little 1/6 scale version of the actress. And here's another pose right here. And actually, I'll get to the price in just a bit here, because the price of this is actually much cheaper than I thought it would be. I thought it would be like maybe like $300 or maybe $285, but it's actually cheaper than that. So yeah, so I know that she's on high demand now. She's still available, right? So she's not waitlisted yet. I mean, she's only been out she's only been up for pre-order a few days. But I think that she will sell out, or at least she'll be waitlisted sooner than normal. So if you're interested in Sabine Wren, and yeah, I will probably try to secure her as soon as possible, because I don't know how long she's going to be there. And then we have the little pet that she has, and I don't remember the little like cat alien thing. I don't remember its name, but she comes with him or her. And here's the image where you see all of that comes with separate rolling eyeballs, which a lot of the Hot Toys now have that. LED lightsabers powered by USB, and all these different hands, and obviously the little base there. And I already mentioned that her little pet, little cat thingamajig. And then you have the Ezra hologram, so that's cool that they have that. So I'm assuming maybe Hot Toys will make the Ezra figure, because I'm assuming we're gonna see him, right? So there you go. So that's Sabine Wren. Just a few more photos. And when it comes to the episode, the Ahsoka episode 5, so Sabine Wren is not in it at all. I don't know if you want to consider that spoilers or not, but just very quickly, I'll just give you my thoughts on Ahsoka episode 5. Okay, so it's not like a full official review or anything like that. I'm just gonna give my quick thoughts of it. So, as I mentioned, I'm not familiar with Clone Wars or Rebels or things like that. So I was curious myself to see if I was even gonna care for the show, because I don't know most of these characters. And so far, you know, Dave Filoni, the showrunner of this, the creator of all this, so far he's done a pretty good job when it comes to you know, showing us a story, showing us basically like a cinematic type of story, especially this latest episode, without us not necessarily knowing the character. Now, there are moments here and there that I don't know what the hell they're talking about, because like I said, I don't know the story, because I didn't watch Clone Wars or Rebels. And again, this is spoilery here. You know, we have the space wells or whatever that that were used, especially in this episode, this newest episode. And I've heard that there were some kind of space wells in Star Wars, and I was like what? Why would they have space wells. I don't know how I feel about that. I would say that it's not really too Star Wars-y, at least for me. But I mean, I don't absolutely hate it, but it's kind of off. It's kind of odd that we have these space wells or whatever. But they were important, and of course, a lot of us were wanting to watch this episode 5, because of how episode 4 ended. So again, spoilers, everyone. Spoiler if you haven't seen Ahsoka. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this already, but at the end of episode 4, we see Anakin Skywalker, and the de-age system that they used on him didn't look that good, but for some reason in episode 5 it looked a lot better. So we see a lot more of Anakin Skywalker. He battles with Ahsoka, and that was cool. It was nice to see Anakin Skywalker again in this capacity. Now we saw him in Obi-Wan, the Obi-Wan series, which was cool, but I mean there was some issues with the fact that he was even in Obi-Wan, knowing some of the lore that we know. But whatever, it's done, it's over with. But so we saw him here, and yeah, I mean he had the physical abilities, the acting abilities here to do this scene in Ahsoka episode 5, and he was great in it. I could totally see why Dave Filoni or Disney or whoever wanted to play this particular episode in theaters. It's definitely very cinematic, because they get into a scene of the actual Clone Wars live action, at least when it comes to Ahsoka, live action version of this, and the actress who plays Ahsoka, she's a younger individual, so she's much younger here. It's a girl, and I thought she did very, very well. Like I said, I haven't seen the show or anything, so I can't really compare it to the show and say, oh yeah, she was perfect like the show or whatever. But I liked her. She was good. She was good in it. That scene was very cool, and I could tell that, okay, this particular shot I know I'm supposed to be super excited about, because I'm sure it's some kind of a Clone Wars thing or some kind of a Rebels thing. And I mean, I can tell that it's like that, even though myself I don't know the context of it. There was this clone trooper that pops up, which I'm guessing is Rex or something like that. I guess he's like a very popular one. I know I've seen him around when it comes to the Hot Toys figures and everything. So I know he was very popular and so forth. So now he pops up there. So yeah, I mean, just the whole episode was very cool. I wanted to see it in theaters, but it wasn't actually playing anywhere nearby. And I'm in SoCal, so I don't know, like maybe I had to go to LA, like directly to Los Angeles, Hollywood area, and I wasn't gonna do that. And I knew the episode was only like 45 minutes, and it was like a Tuesday, so I'm like, I have work and things like that, so I wasn't gonna try to do all that. But yeah, I can totally get the whole purpose, the reason for trying to do this there. And yeah, it was a great episode, and I'm more excited about the newest episode now. Well, since the last one, actually. So overall, the show's been pretty good so far. Mandalorian season 3 was a bit of a disappointment. Like, I didn't hate it or anything, but this one is better than season 3 Mandalorian so far. So there you go with that one. So now let me go back to, where was I? Oh, I was doing the Sabine figure. So when it comes to purchasing or pre-ordering things on for Hot Toys, I go to Sideshow because it's the biggest distributor in the United States. So if you want Sabine Wren, Hot Toys is $271, expected to ship between June and December of 2024. Now, what I have been seeing lately is that Hot Toys has been releasing a lot of figures. Like this week alone, they released quite a few. And so far, they look like they're releasing them on time. At least lately, they have been. So maybe this one, the Sabine, who knows what the situation is in June of next year. But so far, like I said, they've been actually releasing them on time, or at least to the very first month that you see here that might actually be released. So $271. Like I said, I don't think she's gonna be on there for a long time, because I know there's some other figures that stay there for like 3, 4, 5 months or more, and they're still available for pre-order. So this one, I think that she might be sold out or waitlisted much sooner than before, than normal, I would say. Okay, so that was it for the SABINE REN. So now I'm gonna get into the releases. So the releases, so like I said, Hot Toys released several figures this week. This one is ROBOCOP from ROBOCOP 3, the movie ROBOCOP 3. And now the figure itself, I mean, he looks like I said, with SABINE REN, very lifelike, looks very, very good, looks top notch. It's a great figure from what I can tell. Now it comes from a very mediocre movie, ROBOCOP 3. That movie was not good at all. And I actually recently saw this movie. Well, I saw it when it first came out in like 1993, I think, because I'm a big fan of the first ROBOCOP movie and the second ROBOCOP movie. So this ROBOCOP 3 movie came out in the 90s, and it doesn't have the main lead anymore. I think it's Peter Weller, I believe is the actor's name, who played Murphy, ROBOCOP for 1 and 2. So they changed the actor. So although the figure here from ROBOCOP 3 looks like they're actually using Peter Weller, the actual original actor, even though he wasn't in ROBOCOP 3. But yeah, so the movie itself was really bad. I watched, like I said, when it came out in the 90s, but recently I watched it maybe like a year ago, because I haven't seen it in a long time. And yeah, it's not good. It's not good. But the figure itself, that's a whole different story, because he looks really good. Now I'm gonna try to get you some more photos of this particular figure. So hold on a second. Hold on a moment. Now, when it comes to the first ROBOCOP movie, I know I liked it as a little kid, and it's like a really hard R when it comes to this type of movie. So I was like, there was some stuff in that movie that I shouldn't be watching at like the age of like, I don't know how old I was, maybe like eight or something. And it's like very violent. So if you've never seen ROBOCOP, the first movie, I mean, you definitely should watch it, because it's a great movie, great sci-fi movie, very entertaining and so forth. But yeah, for a like 6, 7, 8-year-old or whatever, yeah, definitely not a movie a child should be watching. But yeah, so I did watch it, and it seems like I turned out okay. So there you go. All right, so let's see here. Okay, so I have some more photos for you guys here for this ROBOCOP. So hopefully you guys can see it. I'll delay a little bit just to make sure that you guys can see it. So again, that's a ROBOCOP Hot Toys figure from the ROBOCOP 3 movie. It was not received very well, but they did make the first one, or the ROBOCOP from the first movie, and he's like more like damaged, because at the end of the first ROBOCOP movie, he's like all bloodied up. He doesn't have the first part of, he doesn't have the helmet or the top part there, so you can see the actor's face, Peter Weller or whatever, and he's like damaged. So he looks cool like that too. But this is the first time that they release a clean ROBOCOP and decided to go with the ROBOCOP 3 version, and probably because he has that jetpack, is what I'm guessing. So you can have that as an accessory. So okay, see that you guys can see that. Okay, so here's another photo of ROBOCOP. Now they did reboot the ROBOCOP series. It has the actor who plays Rick. What is it? Can't remember the name of the actor now. But he was in Suicide Squad, and I can't remember the character's name either. Rick Flag, maybe? Rick Flag. So he's playing the character ROBOCOP, or Murphy or whatever. I think it's Murphy. And if I remember correctly, I think Michael Keaton was the villain in that reboot. and I watched the movie and I didn't really care for it, and I think they were having a RoboCop video game that was supposed to come out. I haven't heard anything about it. And here's another image. So OCP, police, you can see that there. And they also have that Ed 209. So from the people who have never seen RoboCop, you guys have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. But there's this droid or this robot that's like supposed to like, that was the first prototype that was supposed to take over. Like this huge like cheeseburger looking robot. It's like much bigger than this, and it's not a human, it's an actual robot. And he does like one of these most violent shooting scenes in any movie that I've ever seen, I think. This like really violent kill scene in the first RoboCop movie with this robot, with Ed 209. So they sell him, and he has like a little scene in this movie too, but it's just like a little cameo. But yeah, so I think Hot Toys decided to go with RoboCop 3 to get, you know, the clean version, the clean RoboCop, because he has the jetpack, because you can have that accessory there. And this one is waitlisted, so at least on Sideshow, I'm sure you can try to get him in other places, comic book stores or whatever. But this one is waitlisted on Sideshow, and I think it was going for $375, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so he looks good. This RoboCop just recently released. And let me see if there's any other photos here. Yeah, so everyone, so if you haven't seen the first RoboCop movie, I highly recommend you to watch it. I do like the second one also, but the first one is by far the better one. This picture right here looks more like the first RoboCop figure, because it kind of looks like that. It looks like damaged like that, although not as bad here. But in the first one and the other figure, he's a lot more damaged, and he doesn't have the helmet or whatever, the top part, and you can see the actual actor's face, the likeness. So these are all the photos for this RoboCop just released. And I know a lot of you Gen Zers probably don't even know what this is. Like, what the hell is this RoboCop thing? But yeah, the first one came out in the late 80s, 1987. And this shot right here looks like from the first movie. So if anything, watch the first RoboCop movie. I think I saw it was on Prime, because I think Amazon owns the rights to RoboCop. I think it's an MGM Orion movie, Orion Pictures. So yeah, it looks really cool. Really cool. Now I didn't pick him up or anything, but because I'm only getting certain figures. Like I'm only getting like figures that I like really like all-time favorite characters and so forth. So I like the movie, but not necessarily RoboCop being like my favorite character of all time or anything like that. But so yeah, so that's the RoboCop release. And let me see. So I know there was another one. I know there's another release. So hold on a second here. Okay. Alright, so the other one that they released this week was this one right here. So that's Peacemaker. So that's John Cena. Peacemaker was released this week with Eagly. And then the eagle, you know, Eagly looks really good too. I've seen some other pets that Hot Toys releases. These other pets that are kind of weak, like I got the Captain Marvel one, which I got for free. Captain Marvel comes with the cat, and I think it's Goose. I think that's the name of the cat. I can't remember, but that pet or animal, it's pretty basic. Like, didn't put that much effort in there, but Eagly looks like they did put some effort in there. And I know when it comes to this figure, when it was first announced, and I wasn't collecting then, but I've seen pictures of it, and it looks really bad when they first announced it, like the prototype. And I guess people complained about it, and Hot Toys came back, and then they went ahead and fixed it. And I think he looks really good now. And I was a huge fan of the show. So James Gunn, you know, James Gunn introduces John Cena as Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad movie that came out in 2021. I really liked the movie, but the character in the Suicide Squad, he was a cool character and everything, but I wouldn't say that he was likable. And actually, he ends up doing things in that movie that makes you really not like him. So I thought it was kind of interesting that when they announced that they were going to make a Peacemaker series, I thought that was kind of interesting because it's like, well, what thoughts are they having with this character? We have a good old Spotchka saying, huge fan of this show. Can't wait to get my show. I'm sorry, I can't see this real quick. Oh, it's getting there on Monday. Oh, okay, cool. So, good old Spotchka. So you're going to review that, right? So I think you're going to review this figure. So I'll be checking that out. But yeah, so we have this Peacemaker figure here, John Cena, and yeah. So like I said, the character in the Suicide Squad, not very likable. He was cool and everything, but I wouldn't say he was likable. So the series came out in January of 2022. So it's been almost 2 years since it came out on Max, HBO Max, and I watched the episode, and the first episode I thought it was alright. You know, it wasn't like blown away or anything, but that was alright. And let's see here, and you know, watch more episodes of it, and like I think by the second episode, I was on board with the character. So I really liked John Cena. The character development is very great in this series. By the end of the day, you're completely rooting for John Cena as a Peacemaker. And then we have Vigilante. He was a cool character. He was a funny character. So it was a great show. And I watched the whole thing. I was there from the moments that they're going to release it. I think it was like at 6 p.m. Pacific time of the day that they were going to show present the show or whatever, the episode. So I was there, and I'm glad they're making a season 2, even though they're going to take a long time before they actually show that, because James Gunn is working on that Superman movie, Legacy, I think. Who says, appreciate you, the good old Spotchka. I appreciate you, man. Did you pick this up? I did not pick this up. I did not pick up this Peacemaker figure. I mean, he looks very cool. And actually, let me get some more photos of him, because I just have this one that I edited myself here. Let me try to get some other photos. So just a second here. But if you guys were watching, did you guys get a chance to watch Peacemaker? What are your thoughts on the show overall? What are your thoughts on John Cena as the character? Because previously, John Cena's been in other movies, the shows and things like that, and obviously we know him from the WWE. He's a wrestler. That's how I first saw him or whatever, and he wasn't the greatest of actors. But in this movie, in this series, in Peacemaker, he was that's like his best performance that he's ever done. And of course he has this I guess practice in acting, I guess I can say. And then he has the direction of James Gunn, and he's a straight up actor now. Like I take him completely serious now. Before I was like, oh, John Cena's in this movie, okay, he's cool, I guess. Sometimes he's funny. That one movie he was in, I think it was called Trainwreck. He was kind of funny in that, but I don't know if he had much range or anything like that. He has a lot of range in this. He's funny. He definitely has the physicality to play this character. You can do all the action sequences from what we can tell. He has some dramatic chops, some emotional scenes that he has. So it's a great show. So I'm glad they made this figure here. We have good old Spotcho saying, really would have loved a Vigilante. I'm happy with displaying this with Bloodsport and King Shark, but Vigilante would have been nice. Yeah, I like Vigilante. Vigilante was hilarious. I liked him in the show, and yeah, I mean, I'm not sure why they decided not to go with, or not, why they didn't want to make Vigilante. Maybe they thought they wouldn't sell or something. I'm not totally sure. But you know, we have the King Shark hot toy. So that one's very cool. Obviously, King Shark is not in this show, but he was in the Suicide Squad. But here are some other images here, some other photos, hot toys, and he's using the sword here, the helmet, and I don't think we have a single head sculpt without the helmet. I think he's only wearing this helmet here, and I'm not sure why. I heard something about maybe licensing issues with the WWE. I'm not sure, but he's just wearing the helmet the whole time here. But he still looks cool. You can totally tell it's John Cena. Girl Spotchka says, seeing him in this made me sad he was killed in Fast X. Okay. Alright, so spoilers for everyone who hasn't seen Fast X, but did he die though? Did John Cena really die though in Fast X? I mean, how many people died in Fast X and they returned? So I would not be surprised that John Cena will be back in Fast 11 or whatever. So yeah. Okay, next one here. Okay, so we have this head sculpt where he has his tongue sticking out or whatever, and I don't know what your thoughts on that. But you know, it looks kind of goofy or whatever. I mean, I wouldn't use that particular head sculpt, but oh, and he's licking the sword. Okay, so that's cool. And then we have, you know, him with Eagle E. I would probably have him. I definitely would want to have him like with Eagle E on his shoulder or something like that, or like the way that it's here on the arm, or like that. That'd be cool too. And you know, he has the gun. You can see right here, and I hear that you can't really take out the gun. I think it's stuck in there or whatever. But I guess some kind of an issue with, I don't know, if it was a DC thing, a Warner Brothers thing, that they wanted the gun to be there. Good old Spotchka says, man, besides Cat Bane, I don't know if I have been this excited for a Hot Toys figure. The proportions of the seamless arms, the chrome helmet, and this there's this little portion here that always blocks this, that I can't even read that part. With in-art Joker on the best. Oh, I see. Best DC 1/6 figure. Okay, so yeah, like I say, it looks really, really cool. And then Spotch, I think you have the Joker in art, I believe, too, right? So see if we can do a comparison there. But so yeah, so we have this figure released, and it is waitlisted on Sideshow. Like I said, I only get things from Sideshow at this time, so I don't. So this one, if you want to get it, you have to go on the wait list or whatever. But yeah, so that's a Peacemaker Hot Toys 1/6 scale figure. And what are you guys' thoughts on this figure? Leave it in the comment section. See if you're picking him up, if he looks good to you or whatever. Oh, here's the one with King Shark. So this is cool right here. So King Shark and Peacemaker, and there's not that many. They didn't even make the Harley Quinn from the Suicide Squad or anyone else really. So yeah, so we got those two here. A couple more photos here. All right, so let's see here. Okay, so let's see if I'm gonna move on to the next one here. So hold on a moment. Okay, so now there was another one. There's a couple other ones that I haven't even mentioned yet. Oh yeah, we have Electro. We have Electro. So Electro, Jamie Foxx from Spider-Man No Way Home. So, you know, Hot Toys, they completely invested in the No Way Home line. And this is the latest release here. They already released Spider-Man from the Andrew Garfield one, even though technically it's the Amazing Spider-Man 2 figure. And they released Doc Ock. The head sculpt I'm not a huge fan of, but they just released him. And now we have Electro. And I'm trying to think if there was any other ones that were released from this line. I know the Spider-Man Tobey Maguire is supposedly supposed to come out in October between October and March. Hopefully it comes out tomorrow, next month in October. And then we have the Tom Holland one. Well, I think the Tom Holland one, Spider-Man. I think one of the Spider-Man ones. I think that one's out for No Way Home. So let's see here. We have Ghost Pachka says, I can see this being a grail in a few years. Yes, yes. Especially if we have, we see season 2 of Peacemaker, which will probably come out like if James Gunn is actually waiting to finish Superman Legacy, and then he'll work on Peacemaker season 2. So we'll probably expect Peacemaker maybe 2026 at the earliest. So if that comes out and then it gets even more popular and things like that, then yeah, I could totally see that this Peacemaker being a grail. So going back to this Jamie Foxx Electro, so he looks cool. I do like the figure here. The likeness of Jamie Foxx is definitely there. I don't know how I feel about those little electrical little plastic pieces around him, because at the same time it looks kind of cheaply, but I think that's what kind of makes the character too, because he's full of electricity or whatever, and maybe there's a better way to present that, but I think that's the way that Hot Toys decided to do this. I know they did those little electrical plasticky little things for the Darth Vader 40th anniversary, but that one is blue, so I know they're using it for that one too. Maybe when I get that one, I'll be able to really test it out and see how that really looks. But yeah, so that's the yellow one here again from Spider-Man No Way Home. And let me just get a little bit more photos of that too, so hold on just a moment while we get over there. So for the Spider-Man No Way Home line, looks like they try to get most of the villains, at least their own figures. I know that Sandman is more like I think it was Sandman. No, I think it is Sandman. Sandman and the Lizard, they're more like a base, like they want their own figure. And then of course we have the Spider-Man, and then the red and blue Spider-Man, which is the one that I pre-ordered from Spider-Man No Way Home, because I really like the suit. We barely see him, but I like that suit. But I know that if I were to get the other Spider-Man's figures, I'm gonna want all the other ones too, and I was like, probably shouldn't do that. So that's why I got the red and blue Spider-Man, or pre-ordered anyways. Okay, so I'm trying to find some other photos of the Electro, so hold on a second here. Okay, so we're gonna get there right now. Okay, so alright, so just making sure that you guys can see it. Again, in the past, whenever I try to share my screen, it would have some kind of issues, so that's why I always pause when I go back to the sharing of the screen or whatever of my laptop. Okay, so you should be able to see it. Okay, there it is. Okay, so again, Jamie Foxx, like I said, I completely see Jamie Foxx here. So all these little accessories, little pieces, that's up to you based on your taste. Like I said, he looks just like Jamie Foxx. Now, if you have the Spider-Man Andrew Garfield, which is also out, you can totally pose this now, because you'll be getting this Electro very, very soon. And then obviously the Andrew Garfield's already out. And this, I don't know if I really like this part, the thing on his head that looks like a star. I never really liked that look, so I don't necessarily like that here either. So I don't think I would have presented him like this, but if he wanted to show it, then obviously you are able to do that, because they came with that little piece. And of course we have the Spider-Man Black and Gold, which is the one that my brother has, Matthew. He has that one. And some more photos of Electro here. This is really, really good. Like the likeness, it really, really is really good, especially when you compare it to the Doc Ock. And I can see the Doc Ock's arms right here, the tentacles. Especially when you compare it to Doc Ock, they really did a really good job with this Jamie Foxx Electro. So I definitely really like that. All right, let's see some other photos of Electro. Are any of you guys planning on getting this one? Are you guys actually collecting any of these Spider-Man No Way Home figures? Because I think they're about to start dropping very, very soon, because we still have the Green Goblin one. That one should be coming out pretty soon. And like I said, the Tobey Maguire one, the Spider-Man, it could come out this year. And then the red and blue Spider-Man, that one's supposed to come out between January and June, hopefully in January. We already have the Doc Ock, like I said, the Lizard Base Spider-Man from Andrew Garfield, that one's already out. And I'm trying to think of some other ones that I haven't mentioned. But yeah, this is definitely a cool line. Like I said, I wasn't necessarily trying to get this whole line here, but I did want one Spider-Man figure. And I decided to go with the Tom Holland red and blue from this line. So yeah, so that's Electro, Jamie Foxx. Very good figure, looking really, really good here. Okay. So I think there's one more. Let me just double check here if there's another one. Yeah, there's another one. There's the Doctor Strange. So let me get there. Hold on a second. So yeah, so again, this was from the Spider-Man No Way Home line. Hot Toys recently released Electro, Jamie Foxx. So let me know your thoughts on this figure in the comment section below here. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next one here, and we have Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange. So Hot Toys released the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness figure. So now this one, he has, the third eye or whatever. That's what we see here at the end of the movie. Some people like this, some people don't. I personally, I think I do like it. I do like it enough. I'm not personally getting Doctor Strange, but if I were to get any, like if I could only choose one Doctor Strange, because I believe this guy comes with, the head sculpt without the third eye, and then another one with the third eye. So since all the other ones don't have that, I think I would get this one because of this third eye. And since they teased in the movie that they're going to do that's when he first gets the third eye at the end, and then he's going to run away with what's the name of the actress, Charlize Theron. And it looks like he's going to have this third eye moving forward. So it's okay. So it's different. It's one that others didn't have before. So this is the one that I would get. I'm not actually getting him, but if I were to get one, it will be this one. So this is the one that they just released. And let me see if I can get some other photos regarding that. So hold on a second here. Hold on a moment. Okay, I think it's right here. Okay. So I'm just trying to get the picture here so you guys can see more photos of this Doctor Strange from Multiverse of Madness. So hopefully you guys can see that again here. Okay, so here's another image here again, Doctor Strange, 6 scale figure, Hot Toys from the Multiverse of Madness. Another photo here. And I mean, he looks, the third eye looks kind of creepy to me. It looks good. Yeah, so trying to see that he had some other stuff too. That's what I'm trying to find. If there's some other accessories that he has. Wait, are these the only photos that they have? I think this might be the only photo. I know that they have the the Doctor Strange from Spider-Man No Way Home. And then they have the one from, I think it was from Infinity War. I'm pretty sure it's Infinity War. And then obviously from the original Doctor Strange movie. I think those are the figures that they have. I could be wrong, but like I said, I've only been collecting for a few months or so. But this is the latest one, latest MCU Hot Toy release, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. Are you guys picking him up? What are your thoughts on this particular figure? So there you go, it is released. Okay, so let's see here. I believe that's it for this Figures Talk segment. So yeah, so we already talked about Electro, Peacemaker, SABINE WREN, and then obviously we just did Doctor Strange here. So that's it for the Figures Talk segment. So now, I had mentioned earlier that we are doing a Spider-Man 2 PS5 physical copy giveaway. So that is still open. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Movie Canon, if you haven't done so already. I will announce the winner. The plan is to announce the winner that weekend the video game comes out. I believe this game comes out on October 20th. So I'm planning to announce the winner on October 21st, which I believe is a Saturday. So that is the plan. So far I'm getting a lot of entries for this. So if you haven't subscribed already or not following the Instagram page at The Movie Canon, do so for your chance to win for future content and other giveaways. So that's Spider-Man 2. And earlier I also mentioned that we have this Barbie Funko Pop giveaway and this Ken Funko Pop giveaway. And today I am announcing the winner. Okay, so I'm announcing the winner for these two Funko Pops. Now this one, these Barbie Funko Pop giveaways have been open for a while, but because I'm trying to secure them or whatever. So I have them now, and then I got the minimum entries. Like whenever I do these giveaways, you know, I need to have the minimum entries or whatever. So I'm going to announce the winner now. I already chose the two winners, right? So I'm assuming that you have a mailing address within the United States, because that's one of the requirements. I already checked if you're a subscriber or follower to the Instagram, to the Movie Canon. So the winners that I have here, I'm going to announce. The first one, I'm going to start with the Barbie Funko Pop. So the Barbie Funko Pop winner is Mary Aviles 86. So Mary Aviles 86, you are the winner for the Barbie Funko Pop giveaway. So you have won this Barbie Funko Pop, and like I said, hopefully you have a mailing address within the United States. And I know you're a subscriber and a follower to the Movie Canon, so I already double checked on that. So you are the winner. I will post this information on my social media, on Instagram, a little later, in case you're not watching this live now. I'll post it there, and then you can go ahead and message me on Instagram and just provide me your mailing address so I can send that to you. Again, I'm assuming you have an address within the United States. So that's the winner. So congratulations, Mary Aviles 86. Thank you so much for subscribing to the the Movie Canon YouTube channel, and for following the Instagram page. And the next winner here is Ken, the Ken Funko Pop winner. We have Real Tiffany Lee. Real Tiffany Lee. So you are the winner for the Ken Funko Pop giveaway, the Western Ken, just like Barbie, which is Western Barbie. So Western Ken, Real Tiffany Lee, you are the winner. Same thing. Hopefully you have a mailing address within the United States. And I did already double check, and you are a subscriber to the Movie Canon and a follower to the Instagram Movie Canon page. So thank you so much for that. And so those are the two winners. So Barbie, Mary Aviles 86, and Real Tiffany Lee for the Ken giveaway. So message me on Instagram when you get a chance, hopefully sooner than later, because I'm planning to ship these out probably by the end of next week. So go ahead and message me. Like I said, I'll post this information on Instagram a little later as well, like within 24 hours or 48 hours or so, just in case you're not watching this live. But there you go. So we have the two winners. And going back again here, so the Spider-Man 2, like I said, it's still open, so make sure to subscribe to the channel. Follow the Instagram page at the Movie Canon for your chance to win. Of course, enter for your chance to win this physical copy of Spider-Man 2. All right, so I think that was pretty much it for today. I don't think I have anything else here. So thank you so much for everyone who watched live today. If you're watching after the fact, thank you so much. And I have that giveaway that is open, and obviously already announced the winners for the Barbie one, and there'll be some other giveaways coming up, especially we're getting into the Halloween season, which the Movie Canon is going to turn into very horror and Halloween like, because I'll be posting a lot of content regarding that, or at least very themed for Halloween and stuff, horror and things like that. So definitely keep an eye out for that, and some giveaways related to horror and Halloween and things like that. So thank you so much again, everyone, and that is it for today. So thank you, and I'll talk to you guys or see you guys next time.